So it's a busy old update week this week. We've got 21 cars on offer. So I thought what I'd do this one slightly differently, and I'd review as many cars as I can whilst doing the Dr. Dre mission, because the Dr. Dre mission is paying double this week. So as you can see, I'm not just doing the good ones. I've given a list. I've started with the worst ones first and then the best ones towards the end. There are a couple of reviews I want to get done through this week anyway, but we're starting with the Segoi, which is the most disappointing car I think I've ever bought, because this is based on the Civic Type R, so it should be brilliant, but it's everything but. It's slow, the handling's terrible, it has possibly the worst understeer of any car in the game. It's absolutely dreadful. I did do a lap in this thing. It did a pretty shocking time, which I'll update you on in the other update videos. But yeah, all in all, this is a complete letdown. So it is on offer. Unless you're collecting JDMs, I would say this is one to miss. So we're heading to the nightclub. First tip, always sneak up the stairs. This mission can be quite difficult the first time you do it, but you can skip most of the enemies if you just scoot around the edge and jump up the stairs and go and get the tape. And then we're back to the agency and off with the second car that I'm going to use for this. So this is the Dubachi 770, which is a strange car because from almost every angle it's absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Look, from the back it's lovely, from the side it's lovely, from 3/4 angle it's lovely, but then you get to the front. Yeah, what were they thinking? So what we'll do, we'll just keep it on the rear angles for now, because at least it looks pretty okay from there. Now normally for these missions I'd be doing them an awful lot quicker, but I've decided I'm doing all of them in the cars rather than just using the Mark II for everything. So here you would definitely not take the speedboat, you would jump in it, get the location of the yacht and then jump in your Mark II and fly over there. But I've got to admit, unless you're grinding for money, that's a pretty boring way of doing this heist, because the heist is actually pretty good, or the contract should I say. It's pretty decent fun. So then we just work through the ship, disable everything because I want to steal the helicopter later, and then go off and find the promotional material, which you can absolutely guarantee is always going to be at the cabin right at the far end. It can be in 3 locations, but for me it's always right down here. Quick scoot back across and we're off back up to the agency, and thank God I will pack this away until the next time I need to review it, when I'll say the same thing. It drives okay, but my God, it's ugly. Speaking of ugly, and not in terms of looks, in terms of handling, it's the Stinger TT. Now this is really low down my list of priorities for this week. Not because it's slow, because it isn't, I can't say that. It is a very fast car, but the handling on this thing's absolutely bloody awful. And that's the problem, because it's very expensive. And there are 3 cars really that sit in this bracket in terms of speed. There's the Stinger TT, there's the Niobe, and there's the Banshee GTS. So the Niobe, yeah, arguably some people won't like the way it looks, but it handles a hell of a lot better than this, and it's just as fast, if not faster. And then the Banshee GTS, it rights all the wrongs of the Stinger TT. It's faster, I think it's better looking, it's better handling, it's just better all round. So that's why this is so far down the list, because unless you've got those other 2 and you just want this, I can't think of a single reason why you should buy this over either the Niobe or the Banshee GTS. So then let's go and steal this laptop. So here, as usual, we just run through, try to steal the laptop, fail miserably. You'd have thought it'd have come up with a better plan than that, but anyway. So then we'll just kill absolutely everyone. head down to the nightclub. And just carry on our killing spree down here. This is a pretty bloodthirsty contract, to be honest. I've actually done the figures, so I'll share those with you at the end, and yeah, you deserve that. Most important step before escaping, there should be laws against driving convertibles with the roof up. And I'm not quite sure what happened here, but obviously because I want to use the cars for everything, I'm going to swap over to this. There's no reason to do this. I'm making my life much more difficult for myself than it needs to be. So back in the Stinger and over to the agency, and I had to get rid of those two just because I was angry at having to use the Stinger. So now onto another offer car for this week. We've got the Volker Warrener. Now, this is a strange one because by any metric, it's a bad car. It's not quick. It doesn't have good handling. It just doesn't have anything. It doesn't do anything. It's not armoured. It has almost no redeeming features, but it does have a couple. It has some pretty good and some pretty unique customization, so you can make this thing look really rather cool. And the main redeeming feature, it's just a cool car. As I say, it's perfectly passable in these missions. It's a bit slower than you'd like, but it is such a cool car compared to some of the boring crap that we've got in this game that I think this should be pretty high up anyone's list, because it's awesome. I love it. It's crap, but I love it anyway. Anyway, time to stop talking about cars, because I've got a couple more people to kill. And then back in the car, because we've got to do my least favourite part, which is find the limo. Now this is actually quite easy in the Oppressor, even though I found it pretty much straight away in this, but usually if you're using your Oppressor or your Sparrow for this, just fly around with your missiles armed and eventually it'll lock onto it and then you know where it is. It can be an absolute pain in the backside to find. So, another off car for this week, and we've got the Club. I love this thing. This is based on the Mark 1 Golf. I've done mine up, tried to make it look like a genuine Mark 1 Golf GTI, and it's pretty cool. There's some good customization with this. You can do a weird thing with speakers all on the roof, but it's just generally a really cool car. It's also one of the faster of the compacts. I think it used to be the fastest compact until the Briosa HSW, I believe. So it could well still be the fastest non-HSW compact, and it has decent handling as well. So why they couldn't do this with the Segoi, I don't know, because the Segoi is just awful. Why they chose to give it such terrible handling, I will never know, but they've made up for it with this one, because this is pretty sweet actually. I like this a lot. Good customization, good value, should definitely be on everyone's list this week for things to pick up if you're after the cool cars and if you like the 80s stuff, which clearly I do. And then another highly technical mission, which includes, yep, you guessed it, just killing everyone you see. One slight variation on this one, in that you do have to choose a very specific area to shoot the lawyer.
In the plums.
So bundle them in the boot. Another tip here is you can take this little shortcut down the mountainside, and that makes it an awful lot easier to get away from the guys that are chasing you, because they can be quite aggressive. And on to the next finale, and for this we're using the Vaca. Now for this mission you have to come all the way across in the roller, and usually for this mission the easiest way to do this is to swap into your Vigilante, shoot a load of people with your Vigilante, make sure you've got a couple of rockets left to shoot the helicopter, but then just go around, blow stuff up. You do have to run down to the front to make sure the DJ sees you, and then as soon as the helicopter takes off, jump in your Vigilante, catch it up and shoot it down with that. If you don't have a Vigilante, your best bet is to try and get ahead of it with a fast car and get out and snipe it. Now, as you've already seen, I am not a great shot at moving targets with the sniper, but eventually we get there. Now, when the helicopter catches fire, it will always crash in the same place, so just head over to the bridge. There's a little ramp on the bridge you can take to get a shortcut down. Don't hit it too fast or you can end up in the water. Then teach him a lesson. I think that'll do. And then we're back in the car to get back to the agency. So this is a good time to review the Vaca. This is pretty much one of the underloved Pegasus. It's brilliant. I love it. I think it's really good looking. It's decently quick. It's got reasonable customization, but because it's based on one of the lower end Lamborghinis, and it's certainly one of the lower end Pegasus in the game, people tend to overlook it. But I don't think you should. I think this is a really good value supercar. So another one that you're not really going to win that many races in, especially if you drive like that. But I think it's a really worthwhile addition to anyone's collection. It's a cool car. It's quite an unusual one because not many people buy it, even fewer people use it. So I think this is another good one to be looking at. And now we're getting into some of the ones that I really like. This is one of my favourite cars in the game, so this is on offer this week. It's been on offer quite a few times actually. This is the Vapid Click, and it's not just because it looks super cool. I think it's based on an old Ford Thunderbird, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. It used to be the fastest muscle car in the game, and it's still bloody quick. But what it has that I really like is just fabulous handling for a muscle car. You can chuck this into corners, give it a dab of handbrake, and you can get a really nice controllable slide. It's just so much fun to drive. Who needs drift cars with the fake drifting when you've got cars like this where you can really achieve a proper drift? But we don't get to drive it that far in this mission because we've got to go and pick someone up and guess what? Kill some more people. And then we just steal the van, and this is a bit of a painful mission because you have to stay on the run for a certain amount of time to lose the lost, and then you have to lose the police as well. Sometimes that's easier than others. This time it was quite kind, so now I get to hop back in the Click in the rain, and even in the rain this thing is still a good car. A lot of the muscle cars really fall down when it comes to wet handling, but this one, no, definitely worth looking at this week. And this is one that I've been putting off reviews for a while. I should have reviewed this a long time ago, so I'm definitely going to get this one done this week. And this is the Everon, the Carrion Everon, based on the Toyota Hilux, more specifically the customised Arctic Explorer Hilux that they used in the Top Gear Polar Special. And as you can see, that's exactly what I've modelled this one on. Now, this is a really cool car. It's just everything about it is awesome. It looks good, it looks realistic, it looks exactly like the Hilux, well, at least like the Arctic Explorer one. I just love everything about it, and again, I don't get to drive it very long because guess what? I have to go somewhere else and kill another large group of people. Now I have no tips for this mission because basically it's just this.
Much later. Eventually.
That's up, Pete.
And when enough people are dead, you get to go and torture someone, and that's the mission over. So back in the Hilux, this is another one. It doesn't have many uses. It is a good off-roader, but it doesn't have many genuine uses in the game. But it is a cool car anyway. And now we're on to probably my favourite car from this week's offer, and that's the Jester. And it's my favourite for a few reasons. First of all, it is stupendously cheap. Even at full price, this thing is stupendously cheap. I think it's about $250,000. When it's on offer, it's even less. And you're getting so much for your money with this car. I think it looks incredible. It's based on the newer Honda NSX, or over in the States you'll know that as the Acura NSX. It's a brilliant replica, but it has other things as well. I love the engine note. I think this thing sounds incredible. A lot of the cars in this game just sound like washing machines. This one has a really nice raspy note to it, and it also has some of the nicest handling in the game. This is another one of those cars where the handling is really well matched to the amount of power that the car has, and that's what this is. It's just fabulous to drive. It's just fun to drive. Obviously not when you're doing 2 miles an hour behind these two Chelsea tractors, but we won't be doing that for much longer, because guess what, we're going somewhere to kill some more people. Yeah, it's a bit samey when you actually sit down and record this contract. It is an awful lot of the same, just in different places. And again, there's no real strategy to this. Just take cover and shoot everyone. One thing that is worth doing is when you start this mission, I always switch to the Special Carbine, the Mark II, rather than the MG, the Combat MG that I usually use. There's a reason for that, and that's that with that gun, you can usually spin round and you can catch that guy as he escapes in the lowrider. You don't have to use that gun to do that, but it's a lot easier with the Special Carbine. So that's my key tip for that, because if you don't get him there, you have to chase him all the way back to the yard, and you have to kill a load more people, and it's just painful. And now we're getting into the good cars. So we're going to do the Jubilee, and this is not the Jubilee that comes with the agency, because if you're doing the contract, you'll already have a Jubilee because you get one with your agency. But I would still recommend buying one, especially when it's on offer, and that's because if you buy one as well, you can do upgrades, because you can't really upgrade the agency Jubilee. So this, you can put your suspension upgrades on there, you can put your engine upgrades on there, and this one comes with a front mounted machine gun, which, unlike a lot of the machine guns in the cars in this game, because it's mounted in a Chelsea tractor, it's that little bit higher, so it actually works. It actually gets people, where most of the others tend to just shoot people in the kneecaps. This will actually kill people. I'm not going to say it's accurate, because as you can see by the rather pathetic show on display here, it's not that accurate, but it's more useful than most of the others, I will say that. And it's a really good looking car. It's also decently quick, so it's definitely worth looking at. And in terms of tips for this, I would always have an outfit with the thermal on. Now, yes, you do end up looking like one of those, but this part of this mission is so much easier with thermal. So wrap your thermal helmet on, and then you can just go through and find everyone. Because half of the problem with this mission is it's like a maze inside, so unless you know your way around it, you get lost. And then you're here. So to do you a favour, I've summarised it for you.
I like it.
And there you go, that's all you need to know about that cutscene. Back to the offer cars, and we are away with the Paragon S. So, in terms of the cars on offer this week, this is probably the best. So if you can only buy one car, it probably is this one, because it's fast, it's armoured, it has a completely bulletproof rear window, so if you reverse up to people, they can't get you in the car. It's good looking, it's got good customization. There is nothing negative to say about the Paragon S, nothing whatsoever. It's an absolutely great car. As I say, if you can only buy one car this week, it's probably got to be this one. If you can buy two, I would probably get the Jubilee as well. But if you're doing alright for money at the minute, I'd definitely get the Jester and the Vaca and the Clique as well. They're all absolutely worth it. So tips for this bit: As you can see, not much of a strategy, just shoot all the guys and blow up the cars. Blowing up the cars will save you an awful lot of hassle, because if you shoot them before the guys get out, it just makes it a little bit easier. And then on to the last bit, which again, rinse and repeat. Shoot everyone, shoot Johnny Guns in the leg, and then for this bit, I've done you a favour again, and I thought I'd just summarise what happens for you.
Yo, Dre. Johnny. Some bullshit. Fuck this shit. Shit is fucking dummy. Fuck you. Fuck you too then. Fucking mouth. Motherfucker. Bitch. Ass. Motherfucker.
So to get Dre's phone back, I killed 288 enemies, 2 civilians, blew up 23 cars and 4 helicopters. And did I get a thanks? Because that does seem excessive. No.
Alright, can you give me a ride home? I feel like we've been through a lot together, yeah?
Really? You think?
This shit right here.
And by way of thanks, all he did was play me his music, which I thought I'd leave this bit in because I have the music turned off because it makes it easier for streaming. It gives you some wonderful cinematics, like this, when he plays the track.
But you want to hear something? Okay. This is a world premiere, right here, right now.
So I hope that was useful. I know that was a lot of information for one video, but I wanted to try and get my views out on pretty much everything that's been released this week. That's not all of them, there will be a couple of reviews coming as well. But yeah, hope you found that useful. If you like this kind of stuff, do drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.